Let's get into that. What kind
A
of day
writing
is Zeb
day,
having?
a cave day.
Zeb is having, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the FiveStack. Zeb's having a day. And
Midday.
I'm a big fan when people are like, I'm having a day. I'm having a day. Because we all have a day from time to time. And you don't ever, it's funny because I'm at that age now where like my time capital is like the most important thing to me. And when you say to someone, you're like, how you doing? And they're unfortunately honest with you. And you're like, you know what? I'm having a day. And then you're like, oh, fuck. Now I have to either pretend I care or actually care. Or option 3, which is what Dino usually this is where I go. There's like option 1, 2, 3, ask a genuine question, feign interest, then pretend you didn't notice that they're having a bad day. Or just go, that's too bad, tap them on the shoulder and peace out. That's usually my move. I'm like, well, I'm sure things will get better. But you're having a day because you're in, now I know you and I are pals. You are balls deep, for a lack of a better term, in the second book of the greatest heist series.
Correct.
You got a couple chapters that you're dropping today, and I get a quick text from you, and it's like, I'm in the greatest heist cave. Please just send me a couple things. I'll see you at 3:00. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be good. Actually, it's gonna be real good.
Yeah, I'm having a great day, actually. Thanks for asking. And I'm excited about the greatest heist coming out later on, chapters 1 and 2. Everyone's going to enjoy it. It's going to be full of new revelations you had not heard before about everything that happens.
Give us a nugget.
Well, I mean, so much good stuff. Like we take the 2008 financial crash and we analyze all the players involved, and they include Jeffrey Epstein and Jamie Dimon, not just as passive observers, but actually people who make the crash happen, who collapse the economy. And we backtrack that all the way back to even years earlier, and we discovered that they all coincided in a place called Ohio. And that'll lead some people to expect a certain name to pop up because he's very much in part of Ohio's history. And he does pop up. So it'll be full of revelations today. It's just chapter 1 and 2. And we haven't even got to the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein, which is where the book actually starts.
Oh my God, this is all prologue stuff? This is all laying the tracks? This is all setting the scene? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, the first part is definitely setting the scene. Part 2, we actually get to the arrest. It starts at the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein in 2006. And then he ultimately gets convicted in 2008. But it's what happens inside the bank as they're getting this news that their number one client has just been arrested, and how they react is fascinating, with actual emails, with actual court testimony, actual discussion from the bankers and people inside. It's quite damning for JP Morgan, and you'll get a real inside view of what happened inside that bank as the news came out.
I'm waiting for like a Dan Brown sequel. I'm like, let's go. Come on, let's go. Like a Ryan Holiday book series. I'm like, let's go.
This is exciting. I'm excited. You're excited, and I'm hoping everyone else is, because you're going to get it in about an hour from now, 2 hours from now.
Okay, so we'll get through this. We'll kind of expedite the FiveStack so you can get on and have a day. I do want to start not in the top 5 or the FiveStack today. I want to start with some great news, sad news if you hate ostriches.
What is this about the ostriches? What is this? What is this story about ostriches? I mean, I don't often let Dean just take over the rundown and stick in the story, but he's like, oh, the ostriches. Tell us about the ostriches.
Okay. You may have, if you're on social media, specifically that sweaty shithole I like to refer to as X or Twitter. You may or may not have seen some people, specifically psychos, MAGAs, alt-righters, same people that showed up for J6, same people that showed up for the convoy, just apoplectic over an ostrich farm in British Columbia. Now, you may have seen Save the Ostriches. You may have seen RFK Jr. go, we need to save the ostriches. You may have seen Dr. Mehmet Oz go, I'll take the ostriches and I'll just donate them to somebody, which was like, it was a MAGA op. Let me explain. Okay. And let me just give you the MAGA op, Maple MAGA op.
Are the ostriches alive or dead?
No, they're fucking all dead. They all got shot in the head, beheaded. They killed all the ostriches. They all had bird flu. All had bird flu.
Recover from.
Yeah, with no head.
Headless ostriches.
So the Canadian Food Inspection Agency back in 2020 censured this farm called Universal Ostrich Farm, where these crazy anti-vax psychos owned an ostrich farm. They couldn't make a go of it. They'd been cited for all kinds of health violations. And they're like, And then all of a sudden it comes around that they all have fucking bird flu. All these ostriches, like 400, 30 of them die overnight one night. Canadian Food Inspection goes in there. They're like, why didn't you tell us all these animals had bird flu? They're like, we don't know. So fast forward, they get a cull order, which is a kill order from the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. Because one thing I know about bird flu, it's bad.
Yeah, it captures well.
It's super
Terrible.
bad.
Jumps from birds to humans all the time.
Humans, pigs, fowl, like it's all over the place. It kill you. In France, they're wiping out all the geese right now. No one's saying anything. So the convoy crew, the same fucking psychos that want to continue to paint Canada as this horrific country that hurts its citizens and kills all the ostriches. They went to town and they set up a campsite full of degenerate losers, like they did in Ottawa. And it was funded by MAGA, and they all got in on it. And they're like, the government can't. Joe Rogan was, they're all fucking in on it. It was like, save the ostriches. Well, they didn't save the ostriches because you can't save the ostriches. You'll kill your export market, and you can't reintroduce fucking birds that have bird flu into the fucking the stratosphere. Plus, we don't have ostriches in Canada. It's not like ostriches roam fucking free. Right? Like there's an issue with introducing a new kind of fucking bird or animal to your ecosystem.
From Canada, right?
No.
The ostriches are from Africa.
Yeah, they're fucking prehistoric. You've ridden one?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations. I had no idea.
Very hard to ride. I was on it for like 2 seconds before I fell off, but they're very, very hard to ride.
Anyway, good for you for trying to ride an ostrich. It's not on my bucket list. Like if someone was like, what would you like to do before you die? It's like, ride an ostrich. It's not there.
Jumping is better.
Yeah, bungee jumping, riding a camel. Fuck, I'd ride a camel before I rode an ostrich. Yeah. Anyway, they killed all the ostriches, and I wrote a piece about it, which put a bullet in the whole conversation. Go and read it. But I do have something to say. Listen, ostrich burgers are fucking delicious. If you haven't had one, I would encourage everybody to go and order one, because I would love to see a run on ostrich meat just to prove my entire point. Not these ostriches. They were destroyed because they had fucking bird flu. But if you're one of those hillbillies, one of those four-toothed losers that showed up and camped out, and one guy OD'd, by the way, that was camping out trying to save the ostriches. Couldn't save himself, but he didn't save the ostriches either. So double tough day for the guy that OD'd. But my God, enough of the ostriches.
Are they making them into burgers, or are they just
no, because they had bird flu, bro.
Yeah, so I would think so. I wouldn't want to eat the bird flu, ostrich meat. That wouldn't taste very good. So I'm glad to hear that they did turn into ostriches.
They're all dead.
My thing here. Can you hear me okay, by the way?
Yeah, you're just coming through your computer now, which is fine.
It's better. It's better than whatever was going on before. I'm sorry to hear about the ostriches, and I wish them a good life in the heaven. I'm sure there's lots of ostriches in heaven.
Who cares? Who cares? They're just, it's meat. It's meat. Like, I don't see any of those guys in front of the Schneider slaughterhouse going, stop the murder of the pigs. Bacon's not that delicious.
Yeah, it's true. Ostriches have very tiny heads. It makes me think they're not that smart.
Yeah, and they'll kill you. They'll eat it. They're prehistoric killers. They'll eat you. And by the way, they're really good. They taste really delicious. I just want to
their heads under the sand a lot.
Yeah, they do. They bury their heads in the sand. Yeah, when they get scared. It's sort of like a MAGA, right? Sort of like one of those guys. Spirit animals.
And it's exactly what's happening right now with the Supreme Court, as the Supreme Court rejected 2 challenges to Trump's agenda this morning in moves that signal the conservative court may finally be drawing the lines. Could this be the case? First, the justices declined without comment to hear Kim Davis's attempt to overturn the 2015 Obergefell decision legalizing same-sex marriage, leaving Davis facing $360,000 in damages to the couple she denied a license. You remember the story. It's a big story. Yeah. They just decided not to hear it. They didn't even comment about why they're not hearing it. Also, more significantly, sources tell you that SCOTUS is preparing an imminent ruling against Trump's emergency tariff authority under IEEPA, which could be the end of Trump's tariff strategy. So why don't you tell us a little about that, and then we'll talk about the gay rights ruling afterwards.
Yeah, it's good. SCOTUS apparently has balls. I thought they had all been clipped by the Trump machine, but apparently not. Not hearing the same-sex marriage appeal is brilliant. We'll get to that in just a second. And shocking, to be honest with you. I thought that would have been a slam dunk for the Amy Comey Barretts and the Neil Gorsuches and all the hardcore evangelical handmade nutbags that are currently occupying the Supreme Court. But the decision that is coming for Donald Trump, and it's coming, and he knows it. He totally fucking knows it. Is he's going to get clipped when it comes to what he can do with tariffs and his IEEPA powers. Now, how we know this, he'll tell you. He told us on the weekend. He put out a tweet out of nowhere, by the way, and I went and did some research and sourced that Donald Trump has been told by those close to him that the Supreme Court indeed plans, folks, you can take this to the bank, indeed plans on curbing his emergency powers so that they don't apply to damaging the country any more than he's already damaging the country because he doesn't have the authority. Article 1, Section 8 dictates that Congress is the sole proprietor and purveyor of tariffs, excise taxes, et cetera, et fucking cetera. So he's overstepped his boundaries. What does that mean? It means he's going to have the United States is on the hook for about $300 to $500 billion in payments, in refunds to importers and vendors who he has stuck it to over the past 9 to 10 months. And how I know it's going to happen? Here. He puts out a tweet on the weekend, Saturday afternoon, over a lazy tea. I read this. So let's get this straight. President of the United States is allowed and fully approved by Congress to stop all trade with a foreign country, which is far more onerous than a tariff, and a license a foreign country, but is not allowed to put a simple tariff on a foreign country, even for purposes of national security. That is not what our great founders had in mind. That's exactly what they had in mind, you fucking moron. The whole thing is ridiculous. The other countries can tariff us, but we can't tariff them. It is their dream.
Oh my God.
It's their dream to tariff us and not be tariffed back. What a fucking moron. Businesses are pouring into the USA only because of tariffs. Has the United States Supreme Court not been told this? What the hell's going on? President Donald J. Trump. I'll tell you what's going on. He's getting clipped, and he knows it, and he's going to be on the hook for at least $300, possibly $500 billion that has to go back. Now, he's going to fuck all those people like he fucked all of his contractors for the past 30 years, every person that he's ever worked for. He's going to try and stiff it. I think he's going to try, dude. He's going to appeal and appeal and appeal and appeal and try.
You'll try appealing it, but you can't really appeal the Supreme Court. Who are you going to appeal it to? So,
well, I don't know. Who are you going to bribe? Like,
Yeah.
who are you going to blackmail?
They might be able to still change the decision at the Supreme Court level, but the Treasury is ready to pay back everybody who paid in the tariffs, which includes a lot of Americans who ended up paying for the tariffs. So good for them to get the money back. But
here's the thing: did you not see what he put out after that?
The $2,000 thing.
Yeah. So he knows he's going to lose. So what he does is he tells the people, "Hey, listen, if these tariffs go away, you're not going to get this $2,000 check that I'm going to give you."
Yeah,
but
of course.
Then Scott Bessent, yeah, exactly. He's like, but guys, you got to get mad at the Supreme Court because that's what he was saying. Because I'm going to give you $2,000 check, you can do whatever you want with it. Now we're back to that ham-handed. Hey, I'll just give you money. I'm just going to bribe the people of the United States to get on side and to get mad and get angry and protest and all this stuff. But then Scott Bessent, like literally an hour after he puts out that tweet, he goes on fucking CNN or Fox or one of those stupid channels, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's not happening. It'll come maybe in the form of a tariff credit. But yeah, it'll come in a variety of ways. But no, there's a bunch of different ways we could do it." So, like, it's just if you've ever been conned by a con man, I just want to remind everybody of this before I pass it over to you for your thoughts because I welcome them as always because you're brilliant. Donald Trump is a fucking con man. And what con men do that is central to every single con is they continually inflate how rich you're going to get, how great things are going to be, and you continually never see that materialize until your wife's pregnant with their kid, till your kid is gone, till your dog is dead and your bank account's fucking drained. That's what this is because he knows he's going to lose.
Also, Scott Bessent said that the economy is beginning to tank, by the way, as he points to new lower GDP numbers expected for this quarter. But that's an aside. Look, I mean, I am so amazed the Supreme Court has woken up to the reality of who Donald Trump is. It seems like they're awake. It seems like they understand what the public is saying. It seems that last Tuesday's, victory for the Democrats across the board around the country, I mean, is an indication that the Supreme Court is actually listening to what voters are saying. Voters are fed up with Donald Trump, and so is the Supreme Court. And I think that's the reason they didn't listen to that landmark same-sex marriage decision. They didn't contest it at all. I think that's a huge sign that the conservative movement or the social conservative movement has been dealt a blow, and that the president is sort of a lame duck now. He doesn't really have much room to go. In the next, even if the shutdown ends, even if everyone gets back, he's sort of, unless he can pull out a masterpiece victory next November, which I don't think he can, he's sort of a lame duck for the rest of his term.
Yeah. Oh, and dude, if he loses in 2026, my God. Yeah, like not just lame duck, like thrown overboard, what made to walk the fucking presidential plank, which is everybody's hope right now. But I want to get to the gay sex ruling, sorry, the gay marriage ruling, same sex marriage, not gay sex marriage, the same sex ruling. To your point, you know, and I would ask you this question because you understand the Supreme Court. You've read the Federalist Papers. You understand the Constitution better than most. You're very well researched and written. Do you think we're seeing, for the first time ever, the Supreme Court of the United States look at their careers and their jobs through a political lens? Through, oh my God, we can't be seen as Trump stooges, because some of these decisions you would have thought would have been slam dunks for appeals. Like, I just assumed the hard right Christian SCOTUS would have said, yeah, let's do this. Alito, hardcore weirdo Catholic. You got Kavanaugh, Handmaid's Tale, Amy Coney Barrett. So that's the question I would ask for you, because yes, it's rooted in law. Yes, it's rooted in precedent, but do you think they just didn't hear it because they're like, we even hear this? We're going to lose all kinds of favor and faith from the American people?
I mean, I think there is a little bit of that. I mean, they certainly aren't doing it because they're leaning left or right.
Yeah.
That's not how they go. I think what they're realizing is that, they are parts of the society. What we're all realizing is they're parts of society. They're human beings too. They feel what we feel. They understand what's going on in our world. And if they're seeing a president who's just flailing as a president, they're not going to be in a hurry to support his motions and his requests to them. So, the Supreme Court's always concerned about its own standing in society because they have their own part of government that they're
Yeah.
upholding, and they've got to be responsible to the people as well. They can't just be out there making decisions that the people aren't supportive of, because they'll lose credibility over time. So I think what you're seeing is them being responsible to the people, and then being responsible to the court's legacy, but also to themselves. I mean, it gets really, really unseemly if they're busy supporting these anti-gay, racist legislations and decisions based on, the president who's completely out of whack, who's not supported by a majority of the people, who got a thunderous clampdown last Tuesday. I just can't see how they could argue, how they can not be feeling that as people and not seeing it in their day-to-day lives. They are, ultimately just people.
Yeah. It's a great point. And I think that that kind of, sides with how I feel about why a decision like, the same sex marriage decision wasn't even adjudicated. They didn't even want to fucking hear it. They're like, you can pound salt, not interested. And I think there's a fever pitch, with the judiciary as well, where, they're starting to realize from, conversations that I've had over the past couple of days, not just about the same sex marriage bit, because that just happened like 24 hours ago, where they're like, nah, we're not touching it. But when it comes to this tariff decision that's coming, is there isn't a lot of fear on the Supreme Court around Donald Trump when it comes to the people that he put on that court, the people that the GOP and MAGA helped put on that court, and put on that court because of their ideological leanings, because that was what Mitch McConnell went to work doing 30 years ago, stacking the courts, getting rid of anybody that was antithetical to any kind of or wanted any kind of progressive, rule of law. And he did an incredible job. Does he know what he did today? No. Is he able to stand on his own? No. But that introduces term limit conversations, and we'll get to that another time. But this was a really good day for America. Like even watching Trump flip out yesterday, he flips out all the time. But his tells are tells, and for him to lose his mind like that, to excoriate a decision that hasn't been made.
Yeah. Yeah, he knows.
Told you everything you need to know is that the Supreme Court is going to come down on his bullshit tariffs, which is what Canada's been waiting for. Which quick little add on, which is why Mark Carney's been slow playing this whole deal, because he knew, we all knew they were illegal. We all knew this was short term, and he was going to get his hand slapped. You just hoped it would have come sooner than 10 months before he did the damage he did.
Yeah, I think as well, just on gay marriage, just to add a point here, is it's this practically was really unfeasible, because people have been relying on this gay marriage ruling from a few years ago, as and have been getting married, have been building their lives together as married couples. To suddenly undo that would be a remarkable exercise, and very, very difficult. It's sort of like
a lot of undoing between gay marriage and tariffs. Kim Davis, by the way, that's the county clerk that would not, the Obergefell decision, that wouldn't sign a marriage certificate for two gay people.
Yeah, so he got rejected.
She's a hot babe.
Is she? I don't know what she looks like.
The north end of a southbound camel, as my dad would say, like a bucket of smashed arseholes with all the good ones picked out. And you knew.
You're in a tear today.
Yeah,
You're perfect for me
when I
today. I
saw
needed
her,
you
I was
today.
like, "Oh, she's just mad that these people found love."
How dare they? How dare they? Now it's only the gays who find love. Oh my God,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so
Look
awful.
at that. Even the
That's
gays are finding love. I'm angry now, looking through her Coke bottle glasses over her 17th.
true enough. Kim Davis is married.
No. Are you
You know?
kidding me? She's married to her 2 cats and a deck of Uno cards. That's who
Oh,
she's
come down.
married
Don't be
to.
so mean about cat people.
Uno? Oh,
No,
sorry. I thought you were going to take it. I like Uno. It's a good
no.
game. She's married
Number,
to Solitaire. That's what she's married to.
wow.
Oh, no. Someone
Wow.
said she's had 4 husbands.
Actually, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, she's had 4 husbands. Kim Davis has been married 4 times. She suckered 4 guys into that? That's incredible.
I'm going to take her ability to get married and her licenses away. There should be a limit after 3. You shouldn't get any more. Number 4 on the countdown today, FBI Director Kash Patel enraged America's closest intelligence ally during a May trip to London that reads like a masterclass in diplomatic incompetence. The New York Times reports Patel demanded his flight be diverted against British security protocol, showed up to high-level meetings with MI5 and MI6 wearing a trucker cap and a green hoodie, then broke direct promise to MI5 Director General Ken McCallum about protecting a critical FBI liaison position monitoring China's new embassy in London. After personally agreeing to fund the specialist role, Patel let the position get cut anyway. This is unbelievable that he did this after making a promise to the MI5 leader. And they took the FBI agent and his position back to the United States in order to save some money. So Kash Patel is under a lot of pressure. He's allied. The allies don't love him very much. He's under this enormous pressure because of his private jet trips to all sorts of places that are not sanctioned by the FBI officials. I'm surprised he's still in power there. I will in office there because does he even have any authority? Do people trust him? I don't believe he does.
No, well, he's got authority because he was handed authority, not that he earned it. Everybody at the FBI hates him. Conversation I had with somebody here in Canada that's connected with the Federal Bureau of Investigations is the embarrassment is hard to explain because they've got a guy with atchifori eyes with no experience walking around yelling and screaming and doing things like this, lying to allies. One of the I'll give you 2 examples of how fucking incompetent he is. We'll get to the Epstein files and we'll get to his girlfriend and the $60 million jet trips to go watch her sing the national anthem and wrestle in fake wrestling shows in just a second. It's almost too good. No, it's 100% true. I'll get to that in just a second. So, the first one that makes me laugh is the Epstein file. So now you're seeing, and we'll get to it in just a minute, is part of the FiveStack. You're seeing reporting coming from people like David Schuster, Allison Gill, Yahoo, New Republic, us, a few others, Midas, which is very much accurate. FBI leaks talking about how absolutely horrendously perverted the videos, the pictures, incidents of Donald Trump and his friends with underage women dancing by the pool, swimming, topless, naked, with girls that are clearly underage. They've now started to leak that information. A lot of the women that were working on the files had to quit because they have fucking PTSD from it because they have their own experience, the FBI agents. So, like, these are really important stories that are coming out.
So wait, when you share all the evidence from the Epstein files with 1,000 people, that actually leaks. That's
Yep,
amazing.
yeah. Strangely
That's
enough,
amazing.
yeah. Some people are going to have a crisis of
1,000
conscience.
people would leak any of that information. That's stunning.
Some people are going to have a crisis of conscience. So the reason why all of these people were able to access these files, because a lot of people accessed them that didn't have proof, is because Kash Patel and Pam Bondi did not put them in a proper secure setting. So these were for a long time to certain people in the building, in the FBI, Quantico, and CIA. They were open source documents that anybody could fucking read. So that story is going to come out in a little bit. So there's a little bit of Kash Patel's inadequacy when it comes to doing his fucking job because he's a useless podcaster that used to write kids' books about how he was a wizard here to kill the woke. Then let's talk about his other scandal. Kash Patel took the FBI $60 million FBI Gulfstream to go visit his 26-year-old girlfriend at Penn State University, not once, but twice. And then, because she lives, I think, somewhere in the Tennessee region, and she had a wrestling show, one of those, like, fake cable wrestling TV shows to act in because she's a wrestler. She's like a WWE And by the way, Kash Patel fucking loves wrestling. Like,
Yeah.
big fan of wrestling. These guys are all cosplay LARPing losers that love the WWE, which is why Linda McMahon is the head of the Department of Education. You can't fucking write this stuff. And he took her down there for a wrestling show. She posts it all over social media. He then puts a tweet out going, "How dare you radical left lunatics attack my family? I'm in love with her, and I want everybody to know." It's like Ron Burgundy. Like, it's just fucking the
Well, I don't know
craziest
what the
shit you've
big
ever
deal
seen.
is. I remember when Robert Mueller did the same thing, went to see his 26-year-old country singer girlfriend WrestleMania project that she was doing.
Yeah,
Robert Mueller
like
got
not
away
even
with it. He
WrestleMania.
was
It was
allowed
like a
to take the
hillbilly
private jet.
WrestleMania for cable TV. That's what it was.
So, I know if Mueller can do it, why can't Kash Patel do it? This is ridiculous.
That's
This
a great
is double
point.
standard here.
Yeah, this is a real fucking double standard. This is on top of Kristi Noem ordering not one but two of those Gulf Streams just because she needed to have to at $130 million for the American people. Like Kash Patel, everybody involved in that administration, as soon as this is over, they all have to go to the fucking Hague. Like, there's just, they all need to go to jail. They all need to spend the rest of their lives rotting in prison for not only hurting Americans, but stealing their money for personal fucking use, putting America at risk by going to fucking England, talking to MI5 in a trucker hat going, "I'm blowing up the whole deal. We'll see you guys later." Like, these are the stories that we need to highlight, and unfortunately, they don't get highlighted enough.
Is there anyone actually working at the FBI? I mean, between Patel's little misadventures around, with his girlfriend, the bulk of the FBI agents seem to be on patrol with the ICE agents. The other 1,000 that might have been there are busy looking at Epstein files and getting traumatized and leaving. Is anyone actually doing the work of chasing criminals at the Federal Bureau of Investigations? It just doesn't seem like many are.
No.
No.
No, the answer is no. Like, I mean, they've hoovered everybody out of those, and anybody that had any unbiased, anybody that wasn't a Trumper or Trumpian has already been jettisoned, and they're still looking to get rid of more people. They're trying to fleece anybody that doesn't share their ideology. So even if there are people left in the FBI to do the work that the FBI used to do, to investigate, to charge real criminals with real crimes, to protect America from real crimes, no, they're either scared to death or they're not there anymore, bro.
Has anyone seen Dan Bongino lately? I don't think I've seen him anywhere for the last few months. So,
Lev told me today that something big about him's coming out, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
finding out. That's interesting. At number 3, Trump's surprise appearance at the Commanders-Lions game Sunday became a public relations disaster as 70,000 fans delivered sustained defeating boos from the moment his face hit the jumbotron through his fumbled reading of the military oath of enlistment at halftime. The jeering was so intense that even bitter division rivals, Lions and Commanders fans, found common ground in their contempt.
Oh, yeah, high-fiving each other. Yeah.
The story's on deanblundell.substack.com. What happened when the president came to this NFL game?
You nailed it. He got 80,000 fucking middle fingers in Washington. That was shortly after doing a Air Force One flyover over the stadium. People were booing during the flyover. They tried to hide that audio. Couldn't do it. Then Donald Trump is going to read this oath to all of these military people that are at the game, and he's reading their oath, and he's like, "I do solemnly swear," and then he reads this part, which made me laugh. "Insert your name here."
Oh, that's hilarious. Insert your name. They didn't even give him a fresh one. They didn't give him one that said, "I, Donald Trump." I mean, this is guy.
"Insert your name here. Do solemnly swear." And then as he gets to "do solemnly swear," the boos are so fucking loud.
Yeah, I did hear that. That's insane.
Like,
I wish I could play it for you now, but we don't have the audio set up,
sustained middle fingers, boos, and he looks out, and there's this pause. And y'all, if you watch it, you know what I'm talking about. He looks out, and there's this pause, and it dawns on him.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I think some people don't like me.
Yeah, this is at an NFL game. This is not at some,
These are my people.
These are your people, and they're booing you. They hate you.
They fucking hate. Dude, and it was for 2 fucking solid minutes. And here's the great part. As soon as that was done, by the way, he looks awful. His hand was covered in more foundation. His gait was sickly. Pete Hegseth was standing there next to him, looking scared to fucking death. You look like he was a hostage that wasn't allowed to tell anyone he was a hostage. He's like, "Oh."
Yeah.
It's the smell. So he's up there and he realizes that people hate him after this sustained fucking hatred for him, which was awesome. Like there was no mixed reaction. You might read that. He is hated by every person in that thing. And he turns around, he looks at Hegseth and he looks at his handlers. He goes, let's go. And they fucking leave. Like, boom, gone. That's it. It's over. And not a word from anybody, nothing. But you can go and read about it. You can watch all the best of the booze and the middle fingers, deanblundell.substack.com. I've got the whole piece there.
I mean, he must be seeing something terrible coming down the pike. I mean, he mustn't realize that after the midterms, he's going to get impeached and could be in jail, like soon afterwards. Like, I mean, there's a possibility that's actually a real scenario that he's contemplating right now. Because if tariffs fail, his economic platform fails, if the people are booing him like this at NFL events, he's deeply unpopular. The results last Tuesday showed us how deeply unpopular he is. Even the Democrats who aren't popular are doing well. He's must be contemplating some interesting things after next November.
Yeah, well, I mean, like not only like that feedback that kills him. Like he fucking hates that. But like let's line up how many different people have warned, publicly warned the Trump followers that they got to get their shit together or they're going to jail. Steve Bannon, the very next day, we played it here. Some of us in this room, including me, are going to jail if we don't get this shit together.
Yeah.
Mike Johnson that afternoon, he's going to impeach every single one of us and it'll be over. Like they're going to get us all. Donald Trump, all caps tweets. Next day, he's like, "We need to filibuster. We got to get rid of the filibuster. We got to do something. We're going to send the media. We got to figure this out." The panic isn't just palpable; they're shitting their fucking pants.
Yeah,
like they are literally shitting their fucking pants because they know that if they lose all that power, they lose the House, they lose the Senate, they have 2 years where that knob is going to not just get chased. If you thought he got chased in his first 4 years, boy, oh. You haven't seen anything yet.
It's such an incentive for people to vote Democrats because people are going to despise him even more by this time next year that, we could even flip the Senate. And in that case, he could actually be impeached and removed from office, which is not unlikely in this scenario. He is so deeply unpopular. Speaking of the Senate, this is number 2. The Senate voted 60-40 late Sunday to advance the deal, ending the 41-day shutdown after 8 Democrats surrendered their 6-week demand for ACA subsidy extensions, accepting only Majority Leader John Thune's word that he'll hold a vote by mid-December. But the capitulation came too late for 42 million Americans caught in legal whiplash over food stamps. That the Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson temporarily paused a federal judge's order for full November SNAP payments. Then the USDA ordered states to immediately undo benefits already distributed to families. The chaos is creating a lot of tension around the Trump administration as people don't know whether they're going to be able to feed their families. But that's the second part of the story. The first part of the story is, of course, that the Democrats have caved, if you want to look at it that way. Some of us might think it's a good idea. But what do you think?
I'm of two minds. I'm of one mind that 8 senators sold out America. 8 Democratic senators sold out America. Angus King said something today with Joe Scarborough. I talked about it earlier, but he said, "Hey, we tried to stand up to Trump and lost." I mean, oh my God! Even in the messaging, you sound like you just don't care, right? Like it's the only thing that works with Trump is standing up to Trump, and it was working. It was working. It was the Republican lockdown. It was Trump's.
It was working for political, sentiment, maybe,
capital,
but it was also,
dude, Trump isn't going to give anybody that
health insurance.
Dude, Trump is still going to. He's still going to cancel the health insurance. He is still going to jack up premiums. He is still not going to go to the wall to not give people their money.
Being laid off every single day.
Yeah,
people losing their jobs. There's a lot that was not the people.
I think he still does that
in America,
dude. I think he still does that though.
Air safety.
Yeah, I know, but and that's a big one. Because I have to go down to Nashville for a meeting on Wednesday, so I'm hoping they get those air traffic controllers back in. That's for me. But to your point, the other side of that, and you can have an issue with how Angus King said what he said, but to Angus King's point, to your point, to many other people's points, the safety of America is now in jeopardy. Now, if you're pissed that the Democrats caved, think about that and think about who started this and think about who is putting not only the safety of Americans at jeopardy in a very fucking real way when it comes to air travel, government employees getting furloughed, not getting paid, when it comes to firing tens of thousands of people. That's all Donald Trump. All of that is Donald Trump. All of that is his regime. All of that. So it put Democrats in a really shitty position, specifically this 8. And Angus is a Democrat, but he's more of a libertarian. You saw some very centrist Democrats, not hard left Democrats. What's that?
Yeah. He's an independent, right? I mean,
Yeah. He's an independent, but he leans that way with pretty much everything that he does. And so, party over people. There's just that aspect of the conversation. Then there's the aspect of standing up to Trump. And then there's, like you said, the aspect of like, fuck, we got to get back to work here. The government has to work. Like, this is going to be a very dangerous, tenuous time when it comes to air travel, feeding our people, healthcare, all that other stuff. We have to figure it out. And there's no figuring it out when there's no one in the house. There's just no figuring it out.
Yeah, the thing that I'm also interested in is what happens to Anita Grijalva, the congresswoman who could be the deciding vote on the Epstein files. Now, it's possible that if they drag this out too much, they may not have her as the majority vote there anymore because there's another person from Mississippi. I don't know. Someone else is about to win a race and could even out the votes there. So there's actually a limited window for the Epstein files. So they still have to get through the next few weeks of getting this thing through, of getting some sort of agreement on opening the government, and then having enough time to vote with Grijalva still being the majority vote on the Epstein files. So there's a lot of still time management and scheduling that needs to happen, and I hope they're able to do that, because that to me is worth it almost. You're not going to get very much by keeping the government closed for another few months, but you are going to get a lot out of the Epstein files coming out.
Yeah. This is interesting, right? They have a Republican that they're trying to balance out that 218 signature with in the Deep South. Adelita Grijalva is now at 41 days since winning in Arizona, and she is the 218th signature. Everybody knows that. All of that is incredible, but it also might not be for naught, because I don't know if you've been paying attention to David Schuster and Allison Gill. Mueller, she wrote, if you follow
I don't
her
pay
anywhere.
attention to Allison very much, no. But I
You
do
don't?
listen to David Schuster.
Okay. Well, the reporting that they're doing, this sourced reporting, David Schuster's really good at it. Yahoo, New Republic, there's a bunch of different people. It's not just these two.
Yeah, I think the New Republic has done the best job with the story so far.
Yeah, they really have. And we put out a post, you can go read it, is there are videos and pictures that pale in comparison to the story that we've been told about not just Donald Trump's involvement in the Epstein files, but many other of his cabinet members, donors, friends, elites, other people that you would know in the United States of America. And it's not just Republicans either. So and it's so bad, so disgusting, and it's coming out that there are whispers in the GOP that are getting louder and louder, turning into full-blown conversations behind closed doors and in skiffs and private rooms about what to do when it happens. Not if, but when the Epstein files come out. Because keep in mind, these were open source documents to a lot of different people. When you got 1,000 different FBI agents of varying ideological perspectives, someone might have made some copies. Someone might have grabbed some information. Someone might have said, "Hey, this is in the interest of the American people to see this." And the guy that I'm working for right now, that's asking me to scrub his name and his family's name and all of his involvement with this guy out of these files. This is not right. This is not normal. And a lot of those FBI agents are starting to have conversations with, and leak that information, former and current. And so there is
an FBI agent that's being fired. Maybe you would take some of those pictures with you on the way out the door. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's insurance. For sure.
So depending on what happens with Ms. Grijalva, and I think it's important that she gets sworn in. I think it's deadly important we get this discharge petition. I think it's super, the most important that we get restitution and rest and comfort for the victims, that they can be validated. That's the only thing I really care about. Is going back to the original conversation when it comes to the shutdown. There was a conversation I had the other day with somebody that said, I think the Democrats think there's enough there that they can get the government started again, get Adelita Grijalva sworn in, and force the process of bringing these files out where it undoes everything, because it's that bad. So, I mean, that's do the Democrats think that far ahead? Do they play 3D chess? I don't know. I haven't seen it. But if that's the case, all signs point to another absolutely terrible fucking week/month for Donald Trump, depending on what happens with swearing in Ms. Grijalva, depending on what happens with some of these leaks. But these leaks are starting to spread. The boat is springing new holes, if you will.
I mean, look, Republicans are going to run far, far away. Many Republicans are going to run far away from Donald Trump once
Oh,
these
yeah.
files come out. For both the salacious stuff that you're talking about, all the pictures and videos of girls, but also the financial crimes it becomes clear what he's done to the American dream. You know, what Epstein and his network of organized criminals did in 2008, leading into the Great Recession, as it's now called, by, leaving tens of millions of people homeless, taking people's American dreams away. You know, the affordability of housing is just impossible these days. And it's all because of this grand theft that happened in 2008 by Epstein and the people at JP Morgan and all the people around them. I mean, I think all that's going to come out too. So it's not just the salacious, he's just a dirty guy who sleeps with a lot of people, but there's the blackmail piece of it. And then there's the organized criminal piece. We've known he's a mobster, but the victims of his crimes have not been the American people.
Yeah,
Now
but what
we'll
were they
know that the
using that
victims,
for? Right.
yeah. Now we'll know that the victims were actually the American people. He got rich off the back of American people, as did all of his cronies. And now is an opportunity for people to realize that. I can't see Republicans rushing to his defense. I mean, they just won't. So who knows? He might be out of office even before the next election if they decide that these are too disgusting to deal with and too embarrassing for the presidency. I mean, it is going to be remarkably embarrassing if any of these photos start showing out there. I mean, the only person I can think of who's done anything like this is Berlusconi in Italy. And I mean, they're Italian. They're expected to do this kind of stuff. You don't expect the American president to be having, bunga bunga parties with a known Israeli intelligence asset and an organized criminal. It's not fit for the office, obviously.
No, it's not fit for anybody. It's not fit for humanity. It's awful. It's terrible. All the things that we've talked about. You can't underscore how 30 years of sex trafficking minors, and abusing children. You can't underscore the importance of the restitution for the people that had to actually go through that. And I listen. There is no doubt in my mind that Donald Trump is a rapist because he's been adjudicated as a rapist. There's no doubt in my mind that Donald Trump sexually assaults women because he's credibly been accused of it, settled lawsuits, and been found guilty of it 26 fucking times.
Yeah.
So depending on whether there's smoke there's fire, where there's smoke there's fire. We're being told now that fire is like an entire fucking city block in a mega city. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
So
And I think it's so important for these victims and the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein, who have been for decades now, 3 decades in the case of Maria Farmer, who was the original person who laid the first complaint against Jeffrey Epstein in 1996. 1996 is when she first reported that. She's been
30
fighting
years.
a 3-decade battle to try and get some justice for her sister, who was also assaulted, and for herself. She was held captive for months at the Wexner mansion. This is the person. She was this weekend. By the way, she was honored as part of a children campaign and for her work in protecting children. And I'm so glad she's getting some of those honors. And it's people like Maria who've spent decades and decades and decades fighting for the truth. She also suffers from cancer because this has been a toll on her that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I've been privy to some of that over the years, and I just feel like these poor women who deserve closure, who deserve an ending to to this horrible thing that they were put through. And the fact that had something been done earlier, had something been done in 96 or in 2006, thousands of people's lives could have been changed. We could have saved thousands of children from this horrible ordeal. And we didn't. Society failed them, politicians failed them, the Wall Street failed them, everybody failed them. And those people need to be made whole, and they need a closure to all of this. So I hope this finally comes to a clear end where we know exactly what these guys did.
Agree. Fully agree. Fully agree. Co-signed, as they say.
That is the number one story on the countdown, by the way. That was
Oh, we're
the
done.
one story.
Oh, that's it.
You led right into it. So
We're all done.
there we go.
That was really good. That made sense. I enjoyed it.
Good. I like when you enjoy the show.
I
It's
enjoyed
important
it.
to me.
I had lots of laughs at the ridiculousness, as we all should laugh. We learned a little bit today, and we got together. Listen, folks, thanks for joining us. The Five Stack is our pleasure, and we do it every day at 3:00. It's only made possible by you, our subscribers. Zev right now is doing some great work. Greatest Heist. Let's recover that if you can. Just kind of give us what we can expect in the next hour or two. I know a lot of your readers and subscribers are waiting with bated breath for what you have coming up. Let's get to that. Go and give them a sub, because this is the content you got to pay for, people. Give him a sub. Do it right now. Narrative.org.
I've been dogging the Jeffrey Epstein story for 10 years now, and certainly for the last 6 years, it's been a big part of my life. And over the last few years, it's occurred to me that this was not just an operation about human trafficking and about teenage girls. This was a massive operation to bankrupt America, to steal America, to destroy America from the inside out, to hollow it out completely. And in part one of The Greatest Heist, I explored how Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump were co-opted by a Russian attempt to end democracy and to infect capitalism. And so that story starts in 1987. This story picks up in 1996 and then quickly gets to the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein. This is in book 2 of The Greatest Heist. And we, in great detail now, because a lot of the stuff has come out from unsealed documents from the case in the U.S. Virgin Islands against J.P. Morgan. We have great detail in how that bank reacted to the news that one of their customers, their biggest customer in their private wealth division, was now a convicted sex criminal or suspected sex criminal. And their reaction is exactly what you wouldn't expect. Instead of firing him, they laid even more money at his disposal. They gave him even more business. They funded his modeling agency that he created, MC Squared. So this is a story of how a bank, the biggest bank in America, was co-opted in an intelligence operation, how they helped contribute to the collapse in 2008, how Jeffrey Epstein triggered that collapse in 2008 through an offshore holding, and how it cost America dearly, that we still today have not recovered some say $70 trillion. I think it's more like 40 trillion, but whatever it is, so much money lost during that one big financial meltdown that happened just as Barack Obama was taking office. So in today's first release of the prologue came out last week, but today I'm doing part 1 and part 2. So you're going to get 2 parts in the series, and then we'll build on from there. I'm not sure how many parts in total, but hopefully by the time Christmas comes around, we would have wrapped the story.
Okay, great Christmas gift. Give that gift of The Greatest Heist to a friend. Give Zev a sub today, paid sub. He is excellent. You need him in your life. If you got a couple dollars left over, throw it our way or just become a free subscriber. DeanBlundell.substack.com. Founding members pay once, never again. Annual memberships 25% off for unlimited access. Lock that price in for the rest of your life. I think it's
because the ostriches.
Do it for the ostriches.
You're the guy that brings the ostrich news to everybody.
I gave you the ostrich intel today. That has got to be worth at least $8.
Yeah, exactly.
No, listen.
Most of the countdown today is Dean's stories from DeanBlundell.substack.com. So please check it out. And he deserves a subscription. Absolutely. He wakes up every day at 4 a.m. What a hero you are.
I do. Yeah. No, I enjoy it.
At 4 a.m. So
I know you do. We're opposites. We're very opposite in a lot of ways, which is what makes this work. Thank you all for joining us for the Five Stack. Narrative.org, DeanBlundell.substack.com. Have a wonderful day. We will see you tomorrow at 3:00 right here. See you, buddy.
Dean, have a good one. Bye, everyone.